Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we are back on Forza Horizon 4. I have persevered and I have made this video this week. Like last week I was ranting so much I said this could be the last video, but I have decided I'm going to persevere with this game. I have hope that they are going to update the car sounds at some point. I know it's been like, what, 7 months the game's been out, well, nearly 8 months now the game's been out, and we haven't received many car updates, but I still have hope that they're going to do something, as one of the guys in the live stream said that one of the colleagues at Forza have a car that he's interested in recording. So obviously they are still working on car sounds. Whether that's going to mean new cars are going to get this new sound that he's going to record from his colleague's car, or whether they're going to try and fix current cars, I'm not quite sure. But either way, I still have hope that they are going to fix this thing. But nevertheless, we have a festival playlist to complete, and we've done that earlier. We did the Forza Fon and a couple other. Did mostly the cameras and one race really. The cameras and that sort of thing, the jumps and that are the quickest way to get percentage progress. So that's the best way, and that's why I mostly do the races. As used to do the races, but doing the cameras and that is so much easier. Anyway, this week we've got the Mini X-Raid rally car thing. That can be unlocked through this one here, the Winter Wonders Championship. Current the cars I've had in the game before, which is the Porsche 914-6. That one was in the game a couple of months ago. That was experienced the first ever festival playlist. So if you don't have one of them, you can obviously win it through there. The other one is the Mini X-Raid Countryman, but that I don't think I would bother doing the co-op event unless you are good at them and you like them. Then they're probably worthwhile doing. But if you don't, I'll just buy it through the auction house. I think that'd be a lot easier. The other car, of course, is the Mini Countryman. That's the new one, another new one for this week. And of course, we've got Land Rover that's already been in the game before. So, 2 new cars this week, the 2 Minis, a very Mini associated month, which is pretty cool. Definitely a lot better than Hot Wheels or Hoonigan, that's for sure. First of all, let's go and check out the Countryman, I think. Let's go down here to Mini. Yeah, we'll try out this one first of all. I have a feeling I know what it sounds like, but we'll see. Now, this car was actually featured in Need for Speed Payback as a DLC car for the rally car expansion. I can't remember what it was called. It's like the motocross one. Anyway, so here's the Countryman, which when it came out, when the first Countryman came out, a lot of people associated it for not being a Mini, as it was just so big. As you can see with the size of the boot, pretty big. We jump in the back, lots of red trim around the seats, and we've got these like air vents, looks like Lamborghini air vents on the back, on the headrests. All the rest, nothing really to boast about. Now this is something that's really beginning to bug me. The steering wheel's on the wrong side of the car. Look, it's a British car. Why is the steering wheel on the left-hand side of the car? It just seems to make no sense. It's quite unusual. Apart from that, we have actually got black interior, which is good because, as I mentioned in previous videos, they seem to go for this like weird grey interior, which isn't right because it's not original, not like manufacturer original. Which luckily this is, so this is good. That's one positive. We've got a automatic transmission or flat pedal gearboxes that is made to look like a manual, which is unfortunate, but there we go. Yeah, nothing really else to talk about. Carbon fibre trim, usual modern car sort of stuff. Now, this is a JWC, so it's a John Cooper Works edition, so of course it's a bit more beefed up. Yeah, twin power turbos, obviously twin turbocharged bi-turbo. Tiny little engine. Let's go and have a look at the colours first of all, because I'm not really gaining for the red and the green for this particular car, but we'll see. So we've got red and black, we've got blue with little hints of red, and then we've got black with the hints of red, silver with the hints of red, and white with the hint of red. Kind of just flips it round a little bit. That's, yeah, black, not green. They've got this really nice bright blue, but I can't see blue with red trim. That doesn't sort of suit the car very well. Black with red trim, it just looks kind of boring, really, so I don't really know what to go for. Nah, screw it, we'll go for the green and red, I think. Customization-wise, let's go and have a look, just in case there's a rally car body kit or something. Nope, no body kit. Let's have a look at the external body parts we can put on. So we've got these canards and things, usual stuff. Spoiler, ginormous boot-mounted spoiler, absolutely ginormous thing. We have seen that on previous cars before. Right, so now just go give this thing a drive. And I have a feeling I know what it sounds like. It's going to sound like the JWC Minis from the past, like the hatchback and the convertible. But we'll see. As suspected, that's the sound of this thing. I just think it doesn't really suit this car very well. It sounds way too beefy. It just sounds like it's got a huge big bore exhaust on it, which isn't quite right. And any eagle-eyed viewers may have noticed it's actually winter. But as you can see by the graphics, it's definitely not winter. It's, for some reason, the map has glitched a bit. The visuals are autumn, but if you drive around in certain areas, your tyres become all snowy and your car becomes all snowy. Like certain bushes and things you smash into, all snow flies out of it. Look, you saw it then. It is rather weird. There we go, all snow flying out. Yeah, a bit of an unusual glitch, this one. It has created some very unusual scenes. Like I'll be driving down the motorway and then there's snow coming down, but then there's no snow anywhere. Kind of looks like how it does in this country when it snows. It doesn't really settle, it just snows and then makes the ground all wet. But yeah, so yeah, just ignore that for a minute. Whoa, that was quite a decent amount of understeer there. Kind of felt it in the steering wheel a little bit, or the steering stick in my case. It's not a fast thing. It's definitely not going to take any records, that's for sure. But I just can't grip with this noise. For the A45 AMG, yes, it sounds really good, because that's how it was sounded. There's even Turn 10 themselves on Playground Games showed us, they presented to us how it sounds. It sounds very similar, but for a Mini, I'm not so sure. I'm not quite convinced myself. But it's not too bad. It's not a bloody F12 on a Maserati or a California sound on a Gran Turismo S. That's the one that makes me mad the most. So yeah, not really much to comment on really on this, apart from the handle's alright. I say it's not fantastic in terms of its handling, but it does understeer quite a bit. It's quite a nice amount of grip, but this does understeer, as I said before. It feels like a heavy car. Well, there we go. There's the Countryman. I think it's four-wheel drive. This is not front-wheel drive, which does kind of explain the understeer, because you know four-wheel drive cars do suffer from understeer. Until recently, they are developing lots of new systems and suspension geometries and stuff that makes it less understeering. Anyway, reduces the understeer. There we go. If I can rephrase my sentence. Now, this is a 2018 John Cooper Works Buggy thing. No idea what this thing is, apart from the fact it's a Badger buggy for the Dakar, and it has a diesel engine, like the VW Touareg race car, or rally raid car. So I'm expecting it to sound like that, although knowing this game, it's not going to sound like that. If we open this thing up, it's got these butterfly doors, which are pretty cool. I wasn't expecting that. Can we have a look at the engine or anything? It's not really allowing me to look at anything apart from the doors, so we'll just jump inside and have a look. Get in here. Wow, you're extremely close to the steering wheel. It's like you're sitting in granny position. Your steering wheel's right up to your nose. And it doesn't look particularly comfortable, that's for sure. Lots of carbon fibre. Got yourself a hydraulic handbrake there, and a very nice looking gear shifter, actually. Very mechanical like. We've also got the Dakar screens and that sort of thing over there, so you can check your lap times and where you are and everything. It's so deceiving seeing snow on the tyres and that when it's not snowing. It's so weird. Any colours? I'll be surprised if there is any colours, but we can have a look anyway. Nope, no colours. Upgrades and tunings. Let's have a look. I don't think there will be anything. There isn't anything. There's no upgrades in terms of colour or any external customization or visuals. Just give it a drive. Okay, I was really not expecting it to sound like this. Now this is how the Pterodyne Gurkha should sound, but it doesn't. For some reason it's got this weird V8 noise, which is completely wrong. It'd be so nice if the Gurkha sounded like this. The gears are extremely long in this. Let's change down a little bit. Let's have a look. It's definitely got an unusual sound at the high revs. Let's just go back into first person again so we know when to change gear. Still going, still going. You can hear the engine really wants to change gear. These bloody drive tiles and AI traffic are getting on my nerves today. Yeah, it doesn't sound particularly comfortable giving it a bit of revs, this car. There's one thing I can be sure of, it doesn't feel particularly fast. In terms of its performance, yeah, it feels alright, the acceleration and all that sort of thing. But the actual handling itself is very wallowy. Wow, that was close. Let's go on a bit of off-roading, let's see what we got. It's so weird seeing the snow on the normal ground. But yeah, this thing's actually a lot better than I was expecting. I was expecting it to sound like the X-Raid Countryman, or is it a Countryman? Or the Cooper, or whatever the other one is, the yellow Mini. And it does sound like we are torturing the engine, which is unfortunate. It's not a particularly nice sound. Unless you leave it at low revs, like if I stop here and just stick it in, so top gear is 6th gear. Maybe actually give it a couple of gears down. So that kind of rev is alright, but it does sound too much like a lorry, or a truck. It sounds like the Volvo lorries and trucks in this game. I say lorry, but I don't know if that's a phrase that's used outside the UK. Yeah, it's actually not bad. The idle noise is quite nice. It reminds me of a diesel S-type Jag, the idle noise. But yes, it's definitely an unusual noise. I wasn't expecting that. Perhaps it revs a bit too high. I was really expecting a bit more. If you've ever played Dirt 3 and drove the VW Touareg rally raid car, that's how I was expecting it to sound. I've never heard one of these things in my life, so I can't say what this thing sounds like. But that's how I was expecting it to sound. With this, it does kind of sound like we're torturing the engine, which is unfortunate, as I mentioned earlier. But it's not too bad. Well, it would be nice if the Pterodyne Gurkha had that noise, but obviously with the more lower revving sound than higher. Because in Horizon 3 it had that noise, and when you revved its like the rev limiter, it sounded horrible. But I most of the time changed gear around 3,500 revs in the Gurkha because it sounded really good and sounded how it should. So the Gurkha should have this noise again, and that's one reason why I never drive the thing, because it sounds crap. Again, it's probably another reason why I don't play the game very often. Well, there we go. There are the two new cars this week. I'm glad we've got two new cars this week. It's been a little bit dull only getting one car per week on the occasion. It's nice to have two cars, because two cars should be minimum, really, because like we've lost the car pass now. We've lost the car pass for a couple of months now, but it's nice to have two cars to enjoy. If you don't like one of them, or you like one, or you like them both, it's quite nice. But anyway, my review on the Minis. The Countryman isn't my favourite sort of thing. It's not really a Mini. It's a bit big for a Mini. But in a Countryman itself, it's better to have than some other crazy cars that this game provides. The sound of the Countryman, is it all four or four all, whatever it's called, is odd. I can't grow to that noise, because really that's how a Mercedes AMG A45 should sound, not a Mini. A Mini should sound a bit more smoother, a bit more on like road going, civilized, where that just sounds like raughty, big bore exhausts sort of thing, which isn't right. It's a bit unfortunate. This, on the other hand, the X-Raid thing, yes, it's not particularly fast. It's one of these buggy things. I don't really have much of an interest in it, but it does have a diesel engine, which is a bit different. But the diesel engine sounds a bit odd in a way as well, in the fact that it sounds like a truck and then goes into this like screaming, torturing engine sound, which is a bit weird and not that enjoyable. But I don't know, it's okay. It could be worse. It could be a Maserati MC12 sounding like a Ferrari F12 like last week. That has really hacked me off, as well as the Maserati Gran Turismo S. That is one of the worst. The Gran Turismo S sounded beautiful in well, it sounds beautiful in real life, and it sounded pretty decent in Horizon 3. I can't say it was perfect, but it was very, very decent. So yeah, that's it for this video today. Not too bad. It could be worse, but it could be better at the same time. But yeah, not too bad. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video today, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye!